You ever notice how the same line works on one girl, but completely bombs with another? Same energy, same joke, same approach. One girl is laughing, leaning in, asking you questions. The next one is polite, but distant, cold. You can feel her checking out, and you're standing there thinking, what the hell just happened? Here's what happened. You treated them like they're the same person, but they're not. I've identified 4 distinct types of women. I call them colors because it's easier to remember. Red, blue, yellow, green. And once you can identify which one she is in the first minute, you'll know exactly how to talk to her, when to push, when to pull back, and what actually creates attraction. Today, I'm breaking down all 4. The signs, the approach, the mistakes that kill your chances. Let's start. Most guys use the same approach on every woman, then wonder why it only works 25% of the time. That's not a you problem. That's a strategy problem. What works on a red will bore a blue. What excites a yellow will drain a green. Once you learn to spot the differences, everything changes. You'll know exactly what to say in 30 seconds. More importantly, you'll know what not to do. Let me show you.
The challenger. Reds are easy to spot. Fast talkers, fast movers, fast decisions. They walk into a coffee shop and order without looking at the menu. They know what they want. When you're talking to a red, she's not wondering if you're interesting. She's wondering if you can handle her. Most guys fail this test immediately. They meet a high-energy woman and think, I need to match her intensity. So they start performing, talking about themselves, listing accomplishments, trying to prove they're worthy of her time. She's gone before you finish your 3rd sentence. Here's why. A red doesn't want you to impress her. She wants you to challenge her. There's a difference. Impressing her equals, look at me, look at what I've done, aren't I great? Challenging her equals, prove to me you're more than just high energy and good looks. Real scenario. You're at a gym. She's on the treadmill next to you, running at an aggressive pace. Most guys either ignore her completely or wait until she's done and say something like, wow, you were really going hard. Training for something? That's weak. She hears that 10 times a week. Here's what works. You finish your set, walk past her, and as you're leaving, you say, you know you're gripping those handles for dear life, right? You're supposed to actually run, not hold on. Then you keep walking. 60% chance she stops you. Excuse me? I'm just saying, if you're going to push that hard, might as well get the full benefit. But hey, your workout. Now she has to either prove you wrong or admit you're right. Either way, you're in her head. The psychology behind this. Dr. Helen Fisher's research on personality types shows that certain people are attracted to challenge because it signals equal status. Reds are dominant personalities. They don't respect people who fold easily. When you challenge her, you're saying, I'm not intimidated by your energy. I can match it. That's attractive to a red. But here's the line you can't cross. Challenge her behavior. Never challenge her worth. You're gripping the handles equals challenging her form. Acceptable. You don't look like you know what you're doing equals attacking her competence. Game over. Reds want someone strong enough to call them out, not someone mean enough to tear them down. How to spot a red. Watch her in conversation with other people. Does she interrupt? Does she finish people's sentences? Does she get bored easily and shift topics? That's a red. She moves through the world at 1.5 speed, and she needs you to keep up without trying to outpace her.
The feeler. Blues are the opposite. Quiet, observant, slow to warm up. They're not shy. They're selective. A blue woman is running a completely different program than a red. She's not asking, can he keep up? She's asking, is he safe? And most guys fail this before they even realize they're being tested. Here's what kills your chances with a blue. Coming in too hot. Big energy, loud jokes, trying to make an impression in the first 30 seconds. She doesn't see confidence. She sees someone trying too hard. Her walls go up, you're out. I watched this happen last month. Coffee shop, girl sitting alone with a book, noise-canceling headphones on, but not playing music. Classic blue. Guy walks up, taps her shoulder, big smile. Hey, sorry to interrupt, but I had to say hi. You look like you're really into that book. She takes off her headphones, polite smile. Yeah, it's good. What's it about? She gives a one-sentence answer. He tries to keep it going, asks where she's from, what she does, if she comes here often. She's answering, but her body language is closed, shoulders angled away, giving short responses. He finally says, Well, I'll let you get back to it. Maybe I'll see you around. She nods, puts her headphones back on. He thinks she's not interested in anyone. But here's what actually happened. He treated her like a Red, high energy, fast questions, trying to create immediate rapport. Blues don't work that way. Here's what would have worked. He walks up, doesn't interrupt, just sits down near her with his own book. 5 minutes later, when she takes a break, he glances over. Is that the one about the architect? She looks up. Yeah, have you read it? I'm about halfway through the other one by that author, couldn't put it down. Now she's interested, because you're not trying to pick her up, you're just there. Research from Dr. Sue Johnson on attachment theory shows that certain people need security before attraction can develop. Blues are like this. They're not playing hard to get. They're genuinely protecting their emotional space. You have to earn access slowly. How to spot a blue. Watch how she enters a room. Does she scan for exits? Does she position herself on the edges, not the center? Does she observe before engaging? That's a blue. She's not antisocial. She's just calibrating. And if you rush that process, she's gone.
Quick recap so far. Red needs challenge. Blue needs safety. Now let me show you yellow and green.
Yellow, the connector. Yellows are magnetic, social, expressive. They're the ones everyone gravitates toward at a party. But here's what most guys don't understand about yellows. Just because she's friendly doesn't mean she's interested. Yellows are warm with everyone. That's their default setting. So when you walk up and she's smiling, laughing, engaging with your jokes, that doesn't mean what you think it means. Most guys make this mistake. They mate a yellow, she's fun, energetic, laughing at everything they say. They think, this is going great, she's totally into me. So they ask for her number, she gives it. They text her later, short responses, low energy. They're confused. She was so into me in person. What changed? Nothing changed. She was never into you. She was just being herself. Here's the thing about yellows. They're not trying to mislead you. They just operate at a higher baseline of warmth. What feels like flirting to you is just Tuesday for her. So how do you actually create attraction with a yellow? You have to make her feel seen, not just entertained. Real scenario. You're at a friend's birthday party. She's in the middle of a group telling a story. Everyone's laughing. Most guys wait for her to finish, then jump in with their own story to match her energy. Wrong move. You're just adding to the noise. She's used to people trying to entertain her. Here's what works. You let her finish her story. Everyone laughs. Then as the group starts to disperse, you catch her eye and say, that was a good story, but you left out the part where you were actually scared, didn't you? She stops. What? The whole time you were telling it, you were laughing, but when you got to the part about being alone in the house, your voice dropped. You were actually freaked out. Now you have her attention. Because you just did something no one else does. You listened past the performance. The psychology. Carl Rogers' work on empathy shows that people feel most connected when they're understood, not just heard. Yellows are used to being heard. They're rarely understood. When you show her you see past the social butterfly act, that's when she starts to see you differently. How to spot a yellow. Watch her hands when she talks. Watch her face. Is she animated? Does she pull people into conversations? Does she light a room just by being in it? That's a yellow. And the key with yellows isn't matching their energy. It's finding the real person underneath it.
Quick check-in. Red needs challenge. Blue needs safety. Yellow needs to feel seen. One more type to go. Then I'll show you how to spot all 4 in under 60 seconds.
Greens are the hardest to read. Not because they're mysterious, because they're genuinely low-key. Calm, steady, unbothered. They don't need constant stimulation. They don't need deep emotional connection. They don't need to be the center of attention. They just want someone who doesn't make life harder. Here's what kills your chances with a green. Being too much. Too much energy, too many questions, too much trying. A green will decide if she likes you based on one thing. Is being around you better than being alone? And for a green, being alone is pretty great. Most guys don't get this. They meet a green at a party. She's on the couch, scrolling her phone, not really engaging. They think, she looks bored. I'll liven things up. So they sit next to her with high energy, big smile. Not feeling the party, huh? She looks up. It's fine. You look like you'd rather be anywhere else. I'm good. He keeps pushing, trying to draw her out, crack jokes, get a reaction. She's polite, but inside, she's already checked out. Here's what would have worked. You sit next to her, don't say anything, just pull out your phone, or grab a drink, or just exist there for a minute. Then, casually, did you get dragged here too? She smiles. Something like that. Yeah, same. My friend won't let me leave for at least another hour. That's the worst. Then silence. And it's not awkward. It's just easy. That's what a green responds to. Ease. The psychology. Research on the Big Five personality traits shows that people low in extroversion, greens, aren't antisocial. They just have a lower threshold for stimulation. Too much input? Draining. The right amount? Attractive. How to spot a green. Watch how she moves through social situations. Does she stay in one spot? Does she seem perfectly content doing nothing? Is she comfortable with silence? That's a green. And the key isn't trying to change her vibe. It's matching it.
How to identify them in 60 seconds. You can't run a 10-minute personality test on every woman you meet, so here's the shortcut. Watch these 3 things. 1. Pace. How fast does she talk? How fast does she decide? Orders in 5 seconds? Red. Takes her time, asks questions? Blue. Animated, lots of words? Yellow. Chill, minimal effort? Green. 2. Space. How does she occupy a room? Takes up space, commands attention? Red. Stays on the edges, observes first? Blue. Moves between groups, social butterfly? Yellow. Finds a corner, stays put? Green. 3. Response to you. How does she react when you approach? Immediate engagement, challenges back? Red. Cautious, takes time to warm up? Blue. Friendly immediately, lots of energy? Yellow. Neutral, waits to see your vibe? Green. But here's the fastest tell. Ask yourself how she makes you feel in the first 2 minutes. Pressured to keep up? Red. Need to slow down and be present? Blue. Energized and social? Yellow. Relaxed and low pressure? Green. Your nervous system knows before your brain does. Here's what most guys get wrong. They think they need to be perfect with every type. You don't. Some types are naturally easier for you because they match your operating system. If you're naturally high energy, you'll vibe with reds and yellows. If you're naturally calm and deep, you'll connect with blues and greens. That's not a weakness. That's self-awareness. The goal isn't to become a chameleon who can trick every type. The goal is to recognize when you're matched and when you're not, so you don't waste months trying to force chemistry that was never there. But here's the skill. When you do meet your type, don't screw it up by using the wrong approach. That's where this system helps. You're not changing who you are. You're calibrating how you show up. And that makes all the difference.
You'll start noticing them everywhere. The girl who ghosted you? Probably a blue who got overwhelmed by your red energy. The one who seemed so into you at the party, but went cold over text? Yellow, who's friendly with everyone. The one who took forever to respond, but kept showing up? Green, who moves at her own pace. You weren't doing anything wrong. You were just speaking the wrong language. But now you know. Red, blue, yellow, green. 4 types, 4 different languages, 4 different ways to create attraction. Here's what I want you to do. Think about the last 3 women you talked to. Which color were they? And more importantly, which color are you naturally drawn to? Drop a comment. Let me know. I'm curious what patterns you're seeing. Now, go watch this next video where I break down the exact signs she's into you versus just being polite. Because knowing her type is step 1. Knowing if she's actually attracted, that's step 2. Peace.